Picture a massive blockbuster movie. You know the kind, multi-million-dollar budgets, epic scale, a literal cast of thousands working behind the scenes to make the magic happen. Well, the industry of global maritime logistics makes Hollywood look tiny. In this explainer, we're going to look at how the ships are essentially our brightly lit mega stages, and the oceans are our sets. The sheer scale of what goes down out there every single day is absolutely breathtaking. So let's peel back the curtain on this incredible production.
So who really moves the world? We're talking about an invisible, high-stakes, brilliantly choreographed network that brings you pretty much everything you own. That phone in your pocket, the sneakers on your feet, they didn't just magically teleport to you. They traversed a massive, highly structured global supply chain. And making sure those goods arrive precisely on cue? Yeah, that requires a cast of absolute heavyweights. Think of a massive liner company as a giant movie studio. The whole operation essentially splits into two critical halves. On one side, you've got the ship owners providing the hardware. They're handling the technical management, the heavy machinery, the maintenance, basically making sure the physical sets are built and seaworthy. But on the flip side, you have the commercial management team. These are the line managers, and they're entirely focused on running that specific service with ruthless efficiency and profitability. It's that classic divide, right? The hardware side builds the massive stages, and the commercial side ensures the whole production actually turns a profit. And just like studio executives greenlighting a massive capital-intensive film, the board of directors sets the grand stage here. They aren't bogged down in the weeds. Instead, they're making the massive, high-level decisions. What's our logistics strategy? Which ocean routes are we totally dominating? Are we deploying massive megaships or going with agile ro-ros? They dictate the marketing, the pricing, and of course, the overall financial budgets. Once that grand vision is locked in, they delegate the execution down the line. We're talking big money, huge decisions, and absolutely no room for error. Now, to actually get their hands on these massive ships, these studios have a couple of options. The financially muscular companies might just buy their ships outright, designing them from scratch or using sale and purchase brokers. But others, maybe those operating in short sea trades or just looking to maximize their capital, will go with long-term charter agreements. They're essentially renting the vessels, which leaves the technical manning to someone else so they can focus entirely on the commercial act of moving the cargo. Part 1. The Unsung Hero, Liner Agents. Listen to how our source material describes this role because it really hits the nail on the head. The liner agent truly has one of the most important jobs in international commerce, and without his ministrations, trade would grind to a halt. That is literally not an exaggeration. The emotional weight of that statement is profound. We are talking about the absolute linchpin of global commerce. If they stop, the whole world stops. So what exactly do they do? Well, the liner agent is a multitasking powerhouse. Acting on behalf of the vessel owner or operator, which we call the principal, they coordinate the entire port call. They solicit the cargo, they issue the crucial bills of lading on behalf of the ship's master, and they manage insanely complex international trade procedures. They pull off the ultimate directorial act, juggling marketing, deep customs paperwork, and constant supply chain monitoring just to ensure the shipper's expectations are met perfectly. Honestly, it's like a fast-paced action montage just looking at their responsibilities. Documentation, port operations, financial reporting, sales and marketing, customer care, they are everywhere at once, facilitating the business from the port all the way inland right back to the cargo's origin point. And this brings us to FONASPA, the Federation of National Associations of Shipbrokers and Agents. Think of these standard port agency conditions as the strict union contracts of the shipping world. It lays out the exact rules of the set between the agent and the owner. It dictates that the agent has to exercise due care, how they get paid, and exactly how they're indemnified against third-party claims. But here is a fascinating insider industry secret hidden right inside those FONASPA rules. 2.5x. Under these standard conditions, an agent's liability to the owner for any negligent act, error, or omission is strictly capped. It cannot exceed 2.5 times the agency fees payable for that vessel. It's a brilliant risk management structure built right into the DNA of their contracts. That's what allows them to operate at this massive scale without carrying infinite liability on their shoulders. And trust me, they absolutely need that protection because the hurdle clearing is intense. Before a ship can even receive port clearance, the agent has to navigate a complete gauntlet of national authorities. They're dealing with the Director General of Shipping for safety and port state control. They coordinate with the Coast Guard for security. They rely on the Navigation Aids Authority for the lighthouses and buoys.
And get this, they even have to satisfy income tax authorities, ensuring taxes on freight are guaranteed before the ship is even allowed to set sail. It's just a non-stop negotiation. Part 2, directing the port and marketing.
So, loading a vessel is basically a high-stakes, three-dimensional puzzle. Agents have to master what's called the cargo mix. They've got to balance the volume, the TEUs, with the actual physical weight of the cargo. They're analyzing seasonality, commodity types, and the average weight per TEU to achieve the perfect fill factor. Because think about it, if the ship is too heavy but not full of volume, or if it's full of volume but too light, profitability absolutely tanks. They have to meticulously curate the cargo.
And who are they actually doing this for? Well, it primarily falls into two camps. You've got the MLOs, or mainline operators, who are the titans owning the massive ships and the containers. But then you have the NVOCCs, the non-vessel operating common carriers. Now, these guys are fascinating. They don't own the ships at all. They operate common carriage solely through owning or leasing the containers themselves.
Because the crucial golden rule of the game is this: these containers require to be in motion all the time. A resting container is a money-losing container. Whether you're looking at an MLO or an NVOCC, their primary asset is the box itself. As long as that box is in the hands of the shipper or the consignee, it's earning revenue. The entire game is all about perpetual, profitable motion.
Parts 3. Action. The EXI cycle.
Let's track the actual action sequence of an export. Step 1, the shipper picks up an empty container from a storage depot. Step 2, it's moved to the factory, stuffed with cargo, and locked tight with an excise seal. Step 3, that sealed box hits the road via domestic truck to a container freight station or a CFS buffer yard. Step 4, the customs department clears it and slaps on a customs seal. Step 5, it gets transported right into the actual port container yard. And finally, Step 6, with absolute perfect timing, it is lifted onto the megaship. It's a seamless, tightly controlled relay race.
Then we get the cinematic cut, the transoceanic journey. The ship crosses the globe, carrying tens of thousands of these boxes, battling weather and time, and fully supported by the commercial management and those unsung liner agents we just talked about.
And of course, what goes out must come in. The import sequence is the exact mirror image. Step 1, the box is discharged at the destination terminal's container yard. Step 2, it's rapidly moved to an off-dock facility, like an inland container depot, so the main port terminal doesn't clog up. Step 3, the consignee steps up, clears customs, and destuffs their cargo. And Step 4, the empty container is returned to a storage depot, completely ready to start the entire blockbuster cycle all over again.
So take a second and look around your room right now. Pick an object. What epic, cinematic journey did that item take just to get to you? Which liner agents battled for its space? Which commercial managers optimized its route across the ocean? This massive, invisible machine of global maritime logistics is operating at a blockbuster scale around you every single second of the day. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning how the world around you actually works.